all season. So, Big Bro Sell.
Yes.
We might hurt some feelings this block. It's time to be honest. Are the Ravens contenders or pretenders?
You're going to stop contenders. You didn't have to say that last part. Pretenders. Of course they're contenders because they're winners. 14-win team last year. They were contenders till they lost. And now this year, this is a team that is 6-2. Yeah, they're contenders until you can do and find another way to beat them. Because right now, only the Chiefs, only the Steelers have beaten them. One of those teams haven't even lost yet. And the other one's a one-loss team. We're talking about a team that's second in the NFL in point differential. Acho. You know what that means? Pretty special. And you beat up on teams. And that's what the Ravens have done. I love the fact that they're now approaching this differently. Last year, the Ravens went out there and said, you know what's coming, beat us, oh well. And they found out in the playoffs that you might need another plan. Plan B, don't be a one-trick pony. Look at this situation this year. They're doing things and checking boxes that they didn't even think about checking last year. How about the fact that last year, this team, when they found themselves down at half, you know what happened. Well, they would lose that game. How about 0-6 Lamar Jackson when you're talking about trailing at half, including the playoffs? Not anymore, because he won a game like that. So that's checking a different box. How about the fact that, this is interesting, that the Ravens organization teams had lost the last 20 games when trailing in the second half. So it's a bigger issue than just Lamar Jackson. But all that said, when you look at a team that's only lost 2 games and to the teams that they lost to, of course they're contenders until someone else proves otherwise.
Are they contenders for having one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the NFL? Yes. Are they contenders for having one of the best-run teams in the NFL? Yes. Are they contenders for having one of the best defenses in the NFL? Yes. But the question at hand is, are they contenders? And everybody knows what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
For a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And if you're asking me, are they contenders for a Super Bowl, I'd have to say no. And it's not because they're not contenders for being one of the best teams in the AFC, but until you can beat the Chiefs, Marcellus, how can you say that they are contenders? And not if it was a one-off loss, but Lamar Jackson, what is he, 0-3 in his career against the Chiefs?
I mean...
So until I see them beat the Chiefs, not talk about beating the Chiefs, not talk about winning a Super Bowl, not talking about being dominant, not winning individual awards, until I see them beat the team in the AFC, how can you be a Super Bowl contender if you can't even get to the Super Bowl? The other thing I'll say is this. The Chiefs' 3 biggest games of this calendar year, the Steelers, the Chiefs earlier in the year, and last year the Titans.
Okay.
They lost them all. They're 0-3 in those 3 biggest games of this calendar year.
What's your point?
My point is very simple.
What you saying?
When it comes to the big-time games, will they get it done?
Man, it's crazy you say that because the same Chiefs team that we're talking about now that sounds unbeatable, even though they have a loss, they sound unbeatable. Remember, let's go back recent time, 2018, when the Chiefs lost to the Patriots in the regular season. Close game, but they lost. People were like, well, if you're really a contender, you got to go through Foxborough. You got to beat the Patriots. Saw them again in the playoffs that year. How did that go? Lost again. Here goes that narrative. Acho lead that train. Choo-choo. You can't beat the Patriots. You can't win it all. What did they do the next year?
The next year.
What did they do the next year?
The next year.
And that's the point. This is the next year.
No.
Yeah.
They lost to the Chiefs already,
because, here's the thing. The Chiefs, if you see them going forward, where is it? Playoffs. Hopefully, conference championship.
Hopefully.
Now, hopefully. Then you could get over the hump. Or, in this situation, it could happen the same thing that happened with the Chiefs. You might not even see them. How about the Patriots got eliminated? Traffic cop, as they call it. Somebody else took them out for you. And then you got to see a different team. Who knows what the Chiefs are going to do going forward? But all I know is if you're going to run with a narrative, the same narrative the Chiefs heard, sometimes it doesn't come true, and you can still realize your goal.
That is fair. The problem with what you were saying is this. If we're talking about if the Ravens, they have to beat the Chiefs next year, I don't know what the Chiefs roster, the team, the organization is going to look like. The 2019 Patriots and the 2018 Patriots, vastly different. So if you're saying, well, the Chiefs lost to the 18 Patriots, went back and beat the 19 Patriots, which literally had a crippled offense looking across the board, I'm not saying that's apples to apples. What I'm saying is this. The Ravens already lost to this year's Chiefs team, lost to this year's Steelers team. Those are 2 teams they're going to have to see in the playoffs. If you've lost to this version of those teams, how can you say that they're contenders when they can't even beat the teams that's really contenders?
Just because I just saw a Chiefs team and they lost to who? The Raiders.
A while ago.
Well, how about not a while ago? I saw the Steelers and they lost to the... Oh, they didn't?
They didn't.
Barely. But is that hope building? Is that hope building? My point is this.
What's your point?
I ain't scared of nobody if I'm the Baltimore Ravens because I'm in that conversation. To me, contender doesn't mean you're the favorite. It means are you in that conversation of contention.
Let me ask you this, though. But you know this, and we'll go track or contenders block.
Are they?
Just because you know they'll be in the race doesn't mean you know they'll win the race.
But you can win one if you're in it. You can only win it if you're in it.
Anytime dudes was lining up against Usain Bolt, fastest man ever run, you knew it was going to be close within a tenth or 2/10 of a second.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Marcellus, you would always kick back, whether Usain got out the block slow, whether he got out the block fast.
Coming.
You knew at the end of the day, that Usain was going to win. Let's talk basketball.
But that ain't the Chiefs or the Steelers this year.
Well, let's even
stop.
Well, what is, we can talk about basketball with the Warriors.
Okay.
You knew on October 28th, whenever opening tip-off was, I can fast forward 7 months. And in 7 months, the Warriors and LeBron James, they both going to be in.
They going to be in.
For 4 years straight, that's what we knew.
Yeah.
Although I think the Ravens are good.
They're the Golden State Warriors Mark Jackson version converting over. No? Something?
I give you that one.
Okay.
I give you that.
Well, where's Steve Kerr at? Let's get it. Coming up, Uncle Jimmy is starting the week the same way he ended last week. Talking about Antonio Brown. That's next. Wake up, Unc. Speak for yourself. Wake up.